Hello again. This is my third video on my electric bike, and this time there's nothing new to report on the electric system itself, because it has been working without no issues all week again. But instead I ended up doing a few modifications to my bike, and the first one being I removed the biggest chainring up front, so I just have the middle chainring left, and I decided to do a sort of bash guard to replace the chainring and protect my clothes from the oily chain. And I also replaced the front disc screws with the screws that I think are more durable in case those screws by time become stuck properly in the hub. Let's have a look what I did with the front chainring first. Okay, since the bike is working fine, nothing to report in terms of issues or problems. So instead I decided to do a little bit of maintenance, and the first thing I did, I removed the crankset and checked if the bottom bracket is still in place, and it is. I was worrying that perhaps this is some sheet metal and it sort of tensioned the surface behind this cadence sensor is not entirely flat. It's sort of a little bit countersunk, so I was thinking perhaps by time it might get loose, but so far it really hasn't. And this is what the crankset looked like, so you can see quite a lot of dirt there. So I'm sort of happy I did secure the disc with the magnets properly. I'll clean this up and let you know what I'm going to do next. Okay, the crankset is all cleaned. I brushed off all the dirt I could, and I would like to remove the big chain ring, just leave the one chain ring, and replace this chain ring with a bash guard I'm planning to make on my own. At first I was thinking I would just grind off the teeth on this chain ring, but seeing that it's actually quite a lot bigger in diameter, I'm thinking perhaps I'll just CNC my own bash guard. Or it won't be a bash guard, actually, it will be made out of probably made out of this polycarbonate sheet I found. I'm guessing it's 4 or 5 millimeters thick, so it will more be a protection for my clothes, my pants, that they don't get oily or dirty. So I'll start drawing up the bash guard design and get back when I'm ready to fire up the CNC machine. So I've got the polycarbonate plate fastened in the CNC machine and I'm ready to go. This will be a little bit noisy, I think, so if you want to watch this, it might be a good idea to turn your volume down for a while. So I'm going to make the CNC machine start. Okay, so that was just a few of the fastening holes for the piece, which I will need later in the process. And I was using compressed air to blow away plastic that would otherwise melt on the end mill and make a poor finish on the rest of the piece. Yeah, let's move over to the next step. Okay, so just to speed things up a little bit, I decided to skip most of the machining and just show you the last few seconds instead. So let's blow the dirt away and have a look. So this is what it looks like. The only thing that's left now is to cut out the bash guard. Those are the mounting holes, and there are small recesses for the bolts to fit in, and the center hole is cut out. I'm just going to loosen that screw a little bit and twist that center disc so that it will keep the piece in place while it's being cut out. So let's do that now. You can see that I loosened the piece I cut out in the center and rotated it just a little bit and screwed it back tight again, and it is now holding the rest of my material while I cut it out. So I'm going to cut it out now and hopefully have a finished bash guard in a few minutes. There it is. Let's remove it and I'll deburr it with a razor blade and see what we got. Now here it is. Looks the way I want it to. Now I have to test fit to see if it fits the crankset. Okay, now it's mounted and it fits really well. It's not a really super fancy one, but I think it will protect my pants from oil and dirt from the chain from now on. And I don't know, probably looks a bit nicer than to have the chainring there for no use. And also my pants were caught on the tooth of the chainring, and I hope that won't happen now anymore. Let's put it back on. So now it's installed and that's what it looks like when it's mounted. The next thing I'm going to do is to replace the mounting screws for the front disc. So let's move over to that now. So in one of my previous videos I told you that I would like to replace these Allen key mounting bolts that hold the brake disc. As you can see, if you can, it focuses a bit poorly. The Allen head is really small. It's a 3mm key that fits in there. And I was worried that if these screws by time get stuck properly there in the hub, it might be difficult to remove them when needed. I was hoping to find a Torx head screw, but I didn't, but I found these. These are also Allen key screws, but you can see that the Allen key that fits in there is much bigger. I think it's 5mm. But I needed 8mm long screws, and the shortest I could find was 10, so I have to shorten these in my small lathe here. And hopefully I will be able to replace the screws. Let's see how it works out. A few minutes later, here they are. I shortened these screws from 10mm to 8mm, and now I'm going to apply a bit of thread lock and replace the original screws with these screws which have a bigger Allen key head. Now the new screws are all installed. You can see that the head of the screw is quite a lot bigger than the old one, but it doesn't matter. There's room for the screws to rotate there between the fork dropout. So I'm pleased with this change, as I think that in any case of issues with those screws, it will be easier to remove them safely. Okay, this is all for this week, and I'll get back to you soon and let you know how my electric bike handles the Finnish winter season. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good time.